Hello, everyone. Welcome. Excuse my voice. I have allergies. And if I have to mute myself to sniffle, I'm sorry. But here we have three beautiful ladies, and we're going to talk about The Empire of Gold today by S.A. Chakraborty. We're very excited, and we're also very sad because it's that's it. No more.
It's
Very
over.
sad. It's over. Ugh. Anyway, do you guys want to just go around, introduce yourself again, and everyone will have to check your links down below because it's compulsory.
No freedom.
No.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Joanna from the channel Joanna Sousa, and I love to read mostly fantasy. I try sometimes to read other stuff, but I'm not very successful. But I do love some fantasy, and this was my first time reading Empire of Gold, whereas I'd read City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper twice. So yeah, I'm very excited to talk about it.
Hi, I'm Abby from the channel Abby Salter. Like Joanna, I predominantly read fantasy and I try to branch out every now and again, but it doesn't always go well. But I do try and read like some sci-fi and romance. And the David Bad trilogy is one of my favourite series ever. This was my second time reading it, first time with the audiobook, and 5 stars.
I'm Allie from the channel Kisty Reads, and this is also my first time reading Empire of Gold, same as Joanna, and I also just read a lot of fantasy, but I do sometimes read other things. It just depends on what it is.
And obviously, you guys are on my channel. I'm Vish, and David Bad trilogy is now one of my all-time favorites.
Yay!
I know. This is like my first time reading the trilogy. I read it like I did an immersion read for all three. No, I lied. Only the second and the third one, because the first one I wanted to get used to the world first. So the first one I just read it physically. And then I did the audiobook for the second and third one, and I highly recommend it because it's a really good audiobook.
It is.
I want to reread this series already.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know why I've read the first 2 books 3 times and this one now twice, because I'm obsessed with this series.
I'm also obsessed. I after I finished Empire of Gold, I immediately looked for fan art, and I was not impressed because there was not much out there, which is very sad.
It's a very underrated series, I feel like.
Yeah.
I really want to search for more
Not
fan
in
art.
my world.
No.
In
No,
my
not
head.
Not in our world now, because we all love it and we will preach it till we die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also looked for fan art, Vish, and I found very, very little. I'll try to send you what I did find, but you're right, like compared to other series that have tons of different artists doing fan art, this one has basically almost nothing, and that's so surprising to me.
Yeah, and plus the only fan art I found is of Dara, and that's it. Like Dara and Nari. And like
I found a lot of Ollie and Nari.
Oh, send me that.
Not a lot of Dara and Nari, to be honest with you.
You can keep that.
I did find a lot of Dara. Obviously, Dara is a popular character. A lot of people like him. I mean, I love him now, but I didn't before. But I love him now.
I feel like I've seen a few bits and pieces. Maybe because I've been reading it for so long. Like since the first book came out, I've been reading the series, so I've just gradually seen more and more. But I haven't like actively searched for it. It's just been as I've had S.A. Chakraborty on Instagram. Like if she's shared a piece, then I'll have seen it.
That's a good idea. She might have even been tagged in them.
Yeah, I need to scour Instagram because I think I looked on Pinterest because a lot of fan art actually lives in Pinterest, but I didn't find many except for Dara.
I always look on Instagram. That's my favorite place to find fan art.
Yeah, I'll have a look at Instagram. What were your ratings? Because I'm not surprised if it's 5 stars.
Yeah,
mine was 5 stars.
10 stars.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Wait, did everyone give every book 5 stars? No, I know some people gave some books 4 stars.
I
right?
gave the first book 4.75.
Okay.
But the other 2 is 5 stars.
Okay.
I gave them all 5 stars, but I feel like the first book is the weakest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Which is really weird. You would think like the first book wouldn't be the weakest. Maybe like the second book would be the weakest. Like
yeah,
I feel like the first book, because it's her debut, maybe she was just getting into the groove of things. And I'd say the first book, maybe because it leans younger, whereas the second two are definitely adult.
Yeah. And also, like, the first book had that insta love with Dara. I wasn't a big fan of that. But this book with Ali, the slow burn was very, very good, and it did well for me. I love that.
Did you give everything 5 stars? No. Right?
No.
Which one did you not give 5 stars?
The second one.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. I remember.
Because I think when I read the first book, whenever it came out, I can't remember what year it was, that was probably a year where there was much more of like that sort of romance in books. I feel like it was the trend of like the Nari and Dara, that their sort of relationship was more common in books, and then it's matured, and it's sort of matured with the writings and demographic where it is now. If that makes sense.
I definitely agree with that. Do we all love the characters? Do we not like a specific character? Obviously, Maniza is.
I was gonna say.
He's like, no.
Stupid Maniza.
But I think she's well written. I wouldn't say I like her. I think she's well written.
She's very well written. Like villain, she was very well written.
Yeah.
Are we going full spoilers or?
Oh yeah, we can't do non-spoilers. It's the last book.
The non-spoilers is lost. I loved it. You should read the series.
That one line. I think in this book I understood Dara more, and I sympathized with him more. And Nari was just a badass, so good. And I really like Jamshid and Nari's relationship in this. It was really cool to see. And for a very somber and like devastating book, there was like a few funny moments. Or is it just me? Because I have like a few green tabs on my book. Oh yeah, I tabbed it a lot. Yeah. There was a lot of green like funny moments, and I was not expecting that. But the funny moments is like the banter between Ali and Nari. I love their banter. And one of the funny scenes, or my favorite scenes, is like Dara and Muntadir talking about like the politics in the beginning. That was also very funny because Dara was like holding back.
The scene where Nari and Ali are in Cairo and she's taking him around the market.
And with the toy duck, he was like, oh, he was fascinated with the toy duck. I'm just like, it's a duck.
Or when she was like, how much did you spend on that?
That guy must have really liked doing business with you. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of funny moments for like a very dark book.
Because I'd say, I think my description of the series is like you have the first book, which is like the introduction, you have like quite a lot of traveling and then like discovery. The second book is very politics heavy. And then you have this third book, which sort of combines that traveling elements and the politics into one and sort of puts those elements together.
Yeah. Which I think is why when I read the first one or upon reread, I really like the part where we're traveling. I just want to get to Daevabad, you know, I want her to get there and discover things. And so sometimes like, okay, come on. And that's why I love the other books so much, because we get more of that and all the characters being together already. So I really like this one. I will say, I wish there was more Zainab in this book. I really liked seeing her in Kingdom of Copper and seeing the strings that she could pull, because we saw Muntandir do his thing, we saw Ali, we saw everyone doing their stuff, and her as well. And here she was a bit more, she had a role, but not enough in my opinion. But I mean, she was never a main character, but still.
You should definitely read the alternate epilogue.
I do need to read the alternate epilogue.
You'll like that one, especially like when you sit with the Zainab thing. Like you need to read that.
I'm looking for, I think it's next spring, isn't it? The anthology or whatever it is, the short story collection is coming out.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, is it just that epilogue being published, or is she actually writing multiple?
No, there's like loads of short stories that she's written in the world. So like scenes, awesome. I think there's like scenes from like before the series started, like some of the history. I think there's scenes with other characters during the trilogy, and then there's scenes like after the trilogy. Because there was a whole, I think it was on the link that I sent in your Discord, Vish. I think there was like a breakdown of all the scenes that she'd written. Like it was pretty much like the contents of what that book's going to be. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I only read the alternate epilogue. I don't know if I've read the breakdown part. I know she said the alternate epilogue is going to be turned into an audiobook.
I think the whole thing is being released as an audiobook first.
Perfect.
No, I want the physical.
Yeah, of course.
I
want both.
I'll have a look later and see what you were talking about. Because I remember you guys were alluding to the whole Marad thing, and it would be explored in this book. And I really liked exploring the Marad side and learning about the history and Sobek. And like Sobek is from like the Egyptian mythology, because he's like the crocodile. I don't know if it's a crocodile king, but he matches that description of the Egyptian myth, Sobek. And that's really cool to see. And I think I predicted in the last live show that Ali would be like some kind of long lost married prince. I was not exactly right, but he was like a long lost married ancestor person that Sobek didn't devour.
Because I didn't realize Sobek was from like an Egyptian story before this. Like I just thought Sobek was like a character that she had made up. But then I was reading A Master of Jinn, and there's a Sobek in that as well, and I was like, oh, it's a real. It's like she's taken that from mythology.
Yeah, and the only reason I know that is because of the Kane Chronicles that Rick Riordan wrote, the trilogy. Yeah. So that's all like Egyptian mythology. So I remembered Sobek in that. So,
it was really interesting reading A Master of Jinn and seeing all the like similarities with the mythology and seeing which things crossed over and things that I didn't know about, like Suleiman, and that's in the mythology as well. And like, so it makes me really want to read the Arabian Nights and the original myths.
Yeah,
I would like to read that as well, especially the Master of Jinn and the other two novellas as well. I think that'd be cool because I am now wanting to read more, I guess, Southeast Asian kind of fantasy, but also more just different other than European like fantasy, anything else. So I think it'll be really interesting to,
especially Egyptian. I feel like there's not enough, you know, there's like only very few series that delve into those kinds of mythologies, and there's so much there. I used to be obsessed with Egyptian mythology as a kid, and so there's so much you can do and no one is doing it, but then you want to do it right, so you don't want anyone doing it. So
same. I loved going to the museum to see the pharaohs and the history.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if I told you, but there was an Egyptian exhibition here where I live, and I got to see like a mummy in a sarcophagus. Like I didn't see the mummy, but I know there was a mummy in the sarcophagus, and they brought it here for us to look at.
Awesome.
I think they had that here as well when I was a kid. I remember going to it because I find hieroglyphs so interesting.
Sorry,
like the hieroglyphs and like how they'd learned how to write from such a not decades ago, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. How advanced they were and how they built the pyramids. Like it's so cool.
It is. Some people like have conspiracy theories that like aliens built it before we were here.
I mean, I shouldn't have said that's so cool because the human slavery that they used to build the pyramids is not cool at all. But I find that I'm just amazed by how they were able to achieve it.
Back then, without all the stuff that we have today, like the technology and all the,
yeah,
for sure.
Were there any like favorite scenes from the book that like really stood out to you?
You want me to pick a favorite scene?
Scenes. How about that?
There's so many. Honestly, I loved so many scenes with Ali, just like him waking up in car and be like, where are we? Like, that scene when he leaves because he thinks, I was so angry. You know, when he leaves, he's like, he's probably better off without me or something along those lines. And then I'm like, no, Miss Shannon, you're not doing this to us. We deserve better. And then she turned him around and was like, okay, we're fine.
Yeah, I really like that he came to the realization that he should let Nari decide
Exactly.
what she wants to do instead of him deciding for her. I think I tabbed that as like pink because that was really nice. I love that.
Some of my like favorite moments. I liked the Ali Marid scene towards the end, with that whole like the sort of battling with Sobek, and then the coming to the decision to embrace his Marid heritage. I liked the scene where Nari went off with the creature thing, the Peries, and then she was given the, what was it called? The
Shedu, Mish Mish.
Shedu.
Yeah. Oh, that was so sad.
Why?
When then he gets attacked, Mish Mish, and then she sees
All right,
him.
I was like, he didn't die. He's
I know, but it was still you're in pain. I don't
yeah, it
like
was
it.
really sad. Yeah. But that
Yeah,
was
and like
one
Mish Mish with the fruit, the amount of fruit that Mish Mish ate.
so cute.
Uh,
See, that's what the fan art we need. We need Nari and Mish Mish as a fan
There we
art.
go.
and I liked, I liked seeing the romance blossom between Nari and Ali and them coming together.
Yeah. All the times that Nari blushed at Ali's well-formed pecs. That was so cute. I didn't think I would like the romance, but because she did it very well throughout the book, like very slow burn, and like there was a few like hints here and there and moments. I was like, I love this so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ali? Did you like those moments too? Because I know your Ali is your favorite character.
What?
Ali
Dara
is your
is my
favorite. Is it?
Yeah.
No. Oh, Joanna's favorite
No,
is
neither
Ali.
of them are my favorite character. Nari's my favorite character. That's why I'm
Okay,
just like, what are you
I was like,
saying?
someone. Okay, it's Joanna.
Yeah, I think maybe Joanna likes Ali a lot. But that wasn't me. There's a lot of good scenes in this. It was just really well done, I think, and there was a lot of pages, but there was always something going on, so that was really good.
Yeah.
My favorite scene's probably the last one where she like talks to her dad, or not her dad, her
Okay,
grandfather.
her grandfather. Yeah, that was.
That's really my like top scene that actually made me like. There was a lot of emotion, but that was actually like the most emotional one, where she was just like, because it was like so subtle throughout the whole book that someone was making her
Yeah.
dishes, and he knew the entire time, so he would make her extra special things.
Yeah.
And like the romance was cute. Like the Pex thing actually kind of was a little cheesy for me. But I can see how that would be like cute. But I think that last scene with her grandfather is my favorite.
Yeah.
That
And
scene.
yeah, that for me, like the most like very emotional scene was her realizing the name that she gave herself was more powerful than her own, like her own given name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was really, really emotional, and that was so good.
That was good. I've seen that done a lot though. The whole like your name is really important. There's magic in your name. That's also a piece of like mythology from somewhere, because that's been done in like a lot of movies and other books too.
Yeah. I've seen that too, but I can't really recall what specific movie.
I can't either, but I know that it's.
But I know it is. Yeah.
The fairies normally that like have the you don't give your name to the fairies.
That is true, I think. No?
That too, yeah.
I know what you're talking about, Ali. I just can't really, put my
It's
finger
also
on
in
it.
like it's also in popular like Hollywood movies too without fairies. But I just can't remember which ones. But it is a fairy thing, like a Cruel Prince thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like a Sandra Clare.
It could be like those like demon paranormal movies where like you're asking the demon for their name, but you like name has power over them.
Yeah, like in Charmed when they're trying to kill the demon and they need his real name or like a piece of him. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of books that have that in it, but your mind's just having a block.
Yeah. It's like when you're doing a tag and it's like a book with blah blah blah, and you're like,
I don't know any
of this.
I was doing the no disclaimers one. It was like a bookish pet peeve, and I was like, I must have loads of these. And when your mind's just gone completely blank, I was like, there must be so many bookish pet peeves. What's a pet peeve?
Yeah, I know.
Any trope you don't like?
No, that was already a question. I'd already done that one.
For me, it's always the permanent sticker on the book.
It's always a cover change in the middle of a series. Always.
When like
fine.
Dawn hears the pages and doesn't use a proper bookmark,
Oh no, that's fine by me. I dog ear my pages.
I don't like that at all.
It's just the permanent sticker because it's.
I hate that too. Yeah.
Hate that.
Well, if you were thinking of getting Wheel of Time books, do it before they have the stickers.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm hesitating. Cause I was like, oh, they have those stickers. I don't know.
Sorry. Yeah, I had forgotten about that scene because I went and grabbed a glass of water. So when I came back, you were talking about the grandfather thing, and that was, oh, I love that so much. Realizing that she still had family, and he knew the whole time, and then that was cute.
I think that whole ending was very emotional.
Yeah.
The whole resolution of things, and then with like Dara deciding to live, but then once he leaves David Bad, he can never come back, and that he's going to spend his life away from David Bad and away from these characters. And I was like, and then you have the scene with the grandfather. You have the scene where Ali gives her the history of her mother, and I was just like, this is such an emotional ending.
I know.
Although everyone lives, and so you're happy because like pretty much all the characters live, it's still very emotional.
It's still really heartbreaking. You still feel like it still feels like someone died because it was just a lot of heartbreak. Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely. It felt really bittersweet because of that. And so I kept on thinking, someone must have died for me to feel like this. And I was like, oh no, it's just like, it's so well done.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, obviously there were a lot of deaths because of the war.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand what you mean by like, it's just so sad and so emotional at the end because there were so many things happening with our characters, so many life-changing things happening to our characters.
Yeah.
It was a really satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You didn't have to use death to make it satisfying. Like I feel like there's a lot of authors that like love to like kill their characters just to shock people. But
I was expecting that with Dara, where everyone said, you know, like, even my mom who said Dara deserved better, and I was like, oh, maybe he just died.
Oh, really? When you told me she said that, I was like, oh, so he doesn't die. Like, I don't know why that came to my mind. I was like, okay.
No, because like he wouldn't like try and redeem himself. He would just die, so he didn't have that chance. That's what I was thinking. That Dara deserved better. Dara deserved better to like live and be, you know, a better person instead of just being dead.
Yeah, he would. I just was thinking he wouldn't get his happiness, like any happiness, and that made me sad. Because, like, despite, you know,
everything, it was so devastating. Like that moment when Maniza controlled him. Yeah, I think I sent you a message, Abby, where I was like, I need to take a shower. This is disgusting. I can't take it.
That scene.
I was so angry. I was seriously so angry. And before that, I mean, he was always following her because he was loyal and he still believed in her in some way. And then you see him slowly starting to realize that no matter how much I used to believe in her, no matter how much faith I used to have in her, no, what she's doing is ultimately wrong, and we can do this in a different way. Yeah. And the second, it's like the crushing of hope that makes it so, you know, because you're like, okay, he's doing it. We're going to get it somewhere. And he doesn't tell her about the princess that's there or anything. And then, the crushing of hope, man. That's like the worst. And then when no one understands that he's under her control and he's like somewhat trying to like, I can't do this. I literally can't. And then when Nari's like, I don't understand. Yes, you can. And it's like, no, use your brain, woman.
And it's so expected for him too. Like everyone is like, oh yeah, well you would. So like,
right,
that's
exactly.
The part that sucks is that he's slowly changing, but everyone just sees him as like one thing where he is capable of growth and change, but people don't. That was what's hardest for me. Like I was like, wow, like this person is capable of all these things, and no one believes him. Like how awful.
I think the moment where I felt really felt for him is when he just broke down and told Nari, you know, like he was 18 when it happened.
Yeah.
Like all he knew was to follow the Nahids and do what he needed to do. That's what he was taught. And then he did it, and then he got enslaved. He didn't have a chance to reform. He just went from one thing to one thing to one thing, and he just kept doing things that he was taught to do. And I really like that moment where he passed on that advice to his soldiers, I think, at the end, where to say like, you don't have to follow if you don't think it's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he'd spent his whole life growing up like believing in the Nahids and having that as like, you follow the Nahids, that's what you have to do, you follow them. And so you can completely understand, like you can relate to why he did what he did, because he believed he was doing what was right and following the people that he should be following, and that these people were making the decisions. It wasn't him making the decision.
No.
Yeah. You know, the metaphors in this book are really strong. I just have to say that. Like, all of that being a teen, being like for one side, not knowing exactly what you're doing in wartime, like that's such a relevant metaphor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think.
100%. I think this whole series is a metaphor, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a really relevant one.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I like how you could see and relate to both Dara and Ali, and that although they were on opposing sides, they had very similar personalities in this, in some way, because they were both on this path of following what they not believed was right and following their people.
Yeah, almost like loyal to a fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have Nari in the middle trying to straddle everything.
Yeah.
And you see all these characters. Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say that you see all these characters have to battle to go against what they always thought they were going to do. So you have Dara, who goes against who he was, and even Nari, when at some point she decides to, when she could stay in Cairo and take over the apothecary and stuff, and then she's like, no, I'm not going to look out for myself this one time. I have other people who are relying on me. And it's just like, and all of the characters go through that. And I think that's just so emotional and so poignant, because we all have to go through stuff like that.
Yeah, I had that epiphany too when I was reading. Yeah, because I had that epiphany too, reading like Nari's perspective and Ali and Dara. All of them had to go through that, where they had to choose between what they wanted and what David needed.
Yeah. And you know, that is something that sometimes people that don't like romance in their books, they say that I don't like, because what you often have is that then people are like, but let's talk about our love when the world around them is dying. And here you didn't have that. Like you had it at some extent with like, oh, he's cute, or he has nice abs or something. But you never have that where they put their emotions for each other above anything else. It was always David comes first, always David comes first. And so I think that the romance is very well done, even for people who wouldn't like romance in their books. I think this one is not so overwhelming that you wouldn't enjoy the book.
And even at the end, when they had a chance to be the they took it slow because they had to rebuild David and put that first before.
That's what Adrian's comment says, and I really like her comment. The second one, just one before that. There you go. Yeah, I think that's very relevant. I like that. It's what kind of what you were saying. At the end, they're just like, okay, let's see how it goes, because you have to rebuild, literally.
Yeah, which is a very like different contrast. Where she wants to like take it slow, but then in the beginning with Dara, it was very fast. But with Abby, I understand what you were saying. Where like at that time, that's how it worked then with fantasy books. So it's really cool contrast.
Yeah. I do think like some people I think I've heard some people have struggled with sort of insta-lovey romance of the first book. And so when I've tried to like help market the series, I'm like, but the romance of that book, it's very different in the rest of the series. Even if you don't like the romance aspect here, I think you could still really like the rest of it.
Especially book 2. I think people that like politics in their books would just love that. Even if there's a little bit of romance, there's a bit of this, a bit of that. I think the politics are so fascinating in that. And the time jump in Kingdom of Copper really helps, because then everyone has gotten used to, like Nari is no longer like just, oh, I just arrived, so I already know all the politics here. She already had time to acclimate and get to know everything and live through some stuff that she probably doesn't want to have lived through. So I think that helps.
But there isn't really any romance in it.
Yeah, no, there isn't. No. You just have her and Muntandir with their forced wedding marriage thing. But yeah.
I mean, there was some Jamshid,
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like a forbidden romance, but there isn't like the Nari romance.
Yeah.
Different twist with forbidden romance because it's gay, which is great.
Yeah. That was also when Ali found out, and then he himself had to check himself, like, would I think that this is bad? Am I just being a little bit of like a prejudiced person here? And then he's like, no, I'm happy for you. Go for it. Live your life, you know?
Ali and Muntadir's relationship is also really, really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just love sibling relationships.
I think all the relationships are done well. Like the siblings and the romantic relationships.
Yeah. I didn't expect Vizaresh to just run away with the relics, because that's not like a tied thing, like a tied plot thing, because it's now it's like open-ended where she can kind of do a story about that. I mean, maybe she will with her anthology, because I didn't expect it.
I'd love like a second trilogy, you know, with like a that goes from like the same similar timeline but has like a different arc.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's in the anthology, if you have Dara hunting down the relics.
Yeah.
And I don't know if her pirate book, I don't know if it's in a completely different world or if it's in this world.
Oh, could it
Very
be that
interesting.
pirate girl?
Yeah,
What's
if
her
it was
name?
in the same world.
What's that girl?
Yeah, that pirate girl. Yeah. What was her name?
Faiza?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's Faiza. Yeah, it is Faiza. She was great. I loved her so much. She was so sassy.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any like overlap or if it's going to be covered in the anthologies. Because you are like, when Vizaresh just disappeared, you're like, no, we'll come back, fight. Like,
Yeah.
But
I was also expecting someone to catch him in this book instead of like leaving it open-ended with that. I don't know.
I did like the twist with like at the end with Maniza and Dara and the play on words with her saying "save this city" or whatever,
Yeah.
and then him killing Maniza. I was like, oh yes, because she wasn't specific with her word choices.
Yeah.
And if anyone deserved to kill her, it was him. So I was happy.
Yeah. I didn't expect that actually, because I actually believed Dara was like with her, but then I was like, I don't know, maybe because I could believe what he was saying because he wanted the misery to end, so I could believe what he was saying. So I didn't expect it to happen, but then when it happened, I'm like, I see what you're doing.
And the thing is, from his past that he has killed so many human owners of him by twisting their words or making them use words that weren't specific enough. So you're like, I should have seen it coming. I should have seen him being able to twist the words, but I think it was very well done.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see her die.
No, for sure. I always wondered until they revealed that she wasn't Nari's mother, because I was like, you really are like, oh, Jamshid is my everything, my sun and stars, like great to have a daughter here and you don't give a crap about her, but then okay, you're just her aunt. So I guess.
I wish we'd have got to seen what's his name? Her actual father, the brother.
Rustam?
Yeah.
Rustam?
Yeah. I feel like he would have been a nice character.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have him in the book as well. I wonder, I'm sure he's going to be one of the short stories, though.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
He was so talked about. I would find it really surprising if he wasn't included.
I feel for him and Nari's mother, and I was like, the story is so sad.
And Nari just getting revelation after revelation, like the Ali giving her the memory of her mother, and then after that, Maniza telling her that she's not actually her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wonder she kept everything together.
I know.
And she had that badass move where she was like making that messenger count the relics when he brought it with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you go, girl.
And I did like how she at the end with the Piries, where she like double blocked.
Nari's just
yeah, she's so awesome. Yeah,
I loved how she turned out compared to City of Brass, where I wasn't a fan of Nari, India Frost. I was like, what are you doing? And then now, I absolutely love her. I think she's up there with Gwen from Jade War.
Ah.
Yeah, for me, she's up there with Gwen because Gwen is great.
I just think the way that the reveal, she does the reveals really well in the books. Like how she paces the reveals and how, like, I don't really predict anything with these books. I'm like, what?
I don't even try to. I'm along for the ride with her books, to be honest. They're just
can't wait for more.
comforting. Like, I don't know, this is a series that I could just see myself going back to multiple times just to feel like, you know, the warmth and the coziness of being in a familiar world with characters you already know and love, and just like re-experiencing it all.
Yeah. I think these are, although they're not like happy-go-lucky books, they are comfort reads for me because I just love them so much. I'm like, it's a comfort read because of how much I love the characters in the world.
It's really good, I have to say. It's a really good. It'll definitely be up there for me this year, having read this trilogy. It's very.
Yeah.
I'm so happy other people have been reading it now.
Same. Thanks for pressuring me and bullying me.
I was like, bitch, read the book.
You and Sam just every day read it. So
fine. I didn't know if I wanted to reread the first two to finish up because I read the first two when Kingdom of Copper came out. And so then I didn't remember enough. And I was like, do I reread recaps? And then I was like, I'm glad I reread them. They were so good.
Yeah.
I think because there's so many intricacies, it does pay to read them all pretty close together.
Yeah.
I agree. For
sure. And you miss, like, reading a recap for something, you just miss the character stuff. Like, it's different from this is the thing. I remember, I'm gonna go slightly off topic, but I remember when Game of Thrones season 8 came out, and I was like, I just want to know what happens. And then it was literally, here's what happens. I'm like, crap, no, I didn't want to know what happened. I wanted a good story. And so you have that here. If you just read recaps of the first books, you're like, oh yeah, that is what happens. But then you forget all the intricacies about the characters and how they make you feel and how they feel. And so I just love rereading. So for that reason.
Yeah, I'm still kind of debating because we're doing the whole Serpent and Dove reread.
That's why.
Right? So I was reading the recap yesterday and I was like, how do I not remember any of this? I only remember the romance and like a bit here and there of the plot. Yeah. So I read through it. I was like, okay. But I'm still debating if I want to reread solely for that reason that you said, Joanna, that I want to remember the emotions and the character interactions properly. So
I think I'm going to listen to the audiobook for so it won't eat into my like physical reading time. I'll just listen to it.
That's what I'm doing too. Just an audiobook is just a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because I know in theory I know the story, but
we know your memory.
I had a good memory. I don't know what's happening to it in my old age.
We're reading too many books. Taking up space. We need a new hard drive. All right, we need to delete the one here.
I wish I could be like Sazed from the series, and I could have a copper mind, and I could just put everything in there, and then when I wanted to remember, I could just put the copper mind on, and then have it all come rushing back.
Yeah.
Also, that's why I said we'll see with Serpent and Dove, because I want to reread Will of Ascension, so I can finally finish Hero of Ages. So I wanted to read Will of Ascension. So I don't know. I'm picking between Serpent and Dove and Will of Ascension.
Will of Ascension. Why are you picking?
Because I wanted to.
And if you do, you need to message me all the things, all of them, everything.
Well, I know what happens in Will of Ascension.
I don't care. I want to relive it through you.
I'm still waiting for Andrew for our buddy read to read Will of Ascension, and that's why I've been waiting, because we didn't accomplish our last buddy read. So now he's like, we're definitely going to do this one, but I'm waiting. So.
I think you'll enjoy it just because, just like Kingdom of Copper, it is a lot more political than the first one. So
I think I'll enjoy it because one of my like little cinnamon roll, like preppy little prissy characters is in it, and I'm gonna love watching him do his thing. I didn't think he was gonna survive, but I'm so happy that he did.
I think that he was my favorite thing about Will of Ascension.
Yeah, he was like one of my favorite things about
Final Empire.
Yes, Final Empire. And so I feel like I'm just gonna, and I know, and because Joanna has told me that it's heavy on him.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna love it. Just waiting.
There's gonna be another character that I'm pretty sure you're gonna love, which is one of my all-time favorite characters. So.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna send you a lot of voice notes.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
You're gonna wake up like in 30 minutes.
To go to Mistborn. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I reread Final Empire in the beginning of the year because we did a World Hoppers video for it. So I listened to the audiobook in like 24 hours, but I still haven't finished it. I literally have the ending left to this day.
What?
I haven't finished it.
Why?
To this day. So I haven't like put it on like my stats or Goodreads anything because I have this much left. Legit, I have so little left. I'll show you.
Like the epilogue, the last page of the epilogue.
That much left.
Come on, Fish. That won't take you long.
I know. That's why I'm like, okay, if I reread Well of Ascension, then I can finish this and then move on to Well of Ascension. Finally.
How do you read those books and not break the spine? Because I love
it's broken. It's definitely broken.
Mine, I don't think mine's broken. Although my spines aren't broken on my Mistborn series, but my boyfriend sat on the book and bent the cover back.
See, that's
how dare he?
My boyfriend sitting on a book would have been a good answer for in that video.
The cover of the Final Empire got bent back, and so I've had to try and like smooth it out and like try and like massage it back into place.
You're such a nice girl. I would have demanded a rebuy. I would have been like, well, "You're buying this for me again. Like, what do you think you're doing?"
I've done that before, and then I didn't actually make him buy it, but I did. I was like, "You're gonna buy it fresh. You bent the page," and then I was like, "Nah, it's fine."
Yeah, no, the spine is definitely
okay.
Yeah, they're too big to not correct the spine.
I
read
know.
It on like ebook. I just bought the ebook from the library because I didn't want to bend the spine. I was like, it's too pretty. I'm gonna try to do the same thing for Well of Ascension. Let's see if that works.
Why don't you try doing that book, the Leslie technique, where you open out the book to try and massage the spine or whatever it's called?
Oh no, I
with the Leslie.
I just like as I'm reading, it breaks.
No, so Leslie does this thing where if you put the book, if you put the book flat on the table and then you open it midway, you gradually open up the pages. So you put the spines out first, and then you do a couple of pages from each side.
Gradually flatten them out.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you keep going all the way to the middle. And suppose it's meant to like soften the spine so that it doesn't crack.
Oh, I will try that. Thank you, Abby.
I think Leslie has a video on it.
Yeah, she does.
So you can watch her do it properly to show you how to do it, because you meant to do it gradually and slowly.
Instead of just like...
and just like gradually go a few pages on each side at a time until you get to the middle, and it will supposedly like soften the glue on the spine.
Are we not all being Leslie's?
Oh, I love smelling books.
I do that too.
I do also smell books. I have a thing about the feel of the pages and like the page thickness. That's my thing. I have a certain like page thickness that I like.
Well, this has a good page thickness and it's floppy, so I don't have to.
That looks beautiful. I can't wait until you and Joanna release like what you thought of it. It's gonna make me want to read it like more.
So good. So good.
Read it.
Already? Wow. Okay.
I'm just warning you. Chapter 17 will make you barf. Don't stop on chapter 17. Other than that,
barf.
I went to bed after reading that chapter. It was 11:30 when I finished it. I was repulsed.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Okay.
Have you read Poppy War? I don't remember.
No, I meant to read it so many times and I haven't.
It's more disgusting than Poppy War.
I think it was like one of the worst, not the worst, but like one of the most things I've ever read.
It's because it's so drawn out. You know, it's like if you have, for example, if you read the Blade itself, you have torture scenes, but it's like, I'm gonna say something that probably doesn't happen, but it's like he cut off his finger and then that's it, you know? And then you have a chapter here where it's like it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop, and you're like, oh my god, please make it stop.
Is it like in Game of Thrones where he's like slowly flaying the other guy? Yeah, that was
kind of. It just takes forever, and you're like, yeah. But it's an amazing book. Read it.
Yeah, if you read that scene, you want to be able to go straight on afterwards and keep reading. But it was 11:30 and it was bedtime.
I feel so sorry.
Did you have dreams?
Luckily not.
Sam did that he was, but not about that stuff.
No, didn't Sam say that he was really happy that he didn't have dreams because the night before he dreamt about going through all secret passageways in a castle?
Yeah.
There's lots of secret passageways in castles.
So he had dreams about the books, not about the girl stuff. Yeah.
I always have like a big house that like behind my bookcase is like a secret passageway of like more bookcases, you know, and just like a cool room.
Yeah. Well, read the book.
Is this the next thing you're gonna force me to read?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna force you to.
Oh God. Wait. So should I prioritize this or Will of Ascension? Aha.
Well of Ascension because it's like my favorite. Yeah.
Because I want to finish the Mistborn trilogy so I can call it one of my favorite series because I haven't finished it.
Yeah. And join Cosmere Unbounded afterwards, like you said. So do it.
I'm going to try my very, very best. That is the goal. I'm trying to finish Brandon Sanderson works so I can move on to Robin Hobb.
You ready for the depression?
Both of them are like,
I want the depression.
I mean, there's so long to go with Sanderson. Like there's so many.
Yeah. I'm not counting the Stormlight just yet because that's ages. I don't know if I'm mentally ready for that yet.
I've heard it's amazing. Like I've heard
so good.
Stormlight is amazing.
Stormlight is just so good.
I really want to read it.
The Way of Kings was amazing. I can't say for the rest of the series yet.
It's amazing.
I'm assuming it gets better.
Oh yeah. Well, for a lot of people, the second book is the best one. So, but they're still all amazing. It's just depending on what you like. If you like politics, you probably will like one book more. If you like the magic system, you will like another book more. So, yeah.
Adrienne agrees. And did you see this? She said, when I want my husband to read one of my books, I get him a library copy and I let him touch my books.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should do.
I have friends that are like that. Can I borrow one of your books? I'm like, no, but if there's one that interests you, I'll buy it for you.
Oh my gosh. And actually, my friends, we just rent library books or like my boyfriend reads audiobooks, so it's perfect.
No, that is perfect, yeah.
And my boyfriend...
My mum can't... Jacob doesn't really read any of my books, but my mum, no. She is one of those people that will like break the spine. Even if it's a book like this one where the spine won't break when you open it, she will have broken the spine. She'll have like done something to it to break it. And it will be broken like all over the spine. The whole thing will be broken. Like,
who do you think broke this? Who do you think broke this? The whole trilogy, every single one, even the Name of the Wind, all of my spine's broken. But it's fine because I love it. And I love my mother.
She'll break them so much that the book won't even really like sit flat. The book will just be like, you know, where it's sort of like curled.
I hate when people curl. I used to curl too, and it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I do curl sometimes. It's fun.
We have gone slightly off topic, but that's fine.
Yeah,
right?
It's fine.
It always happens.
It's fine. But the bottom line is we love this series. Read it.
Yeah. So
and luckily with a hardback, it doesn't matter because
does that one have the nice end pages? Because mine don't.
No.
Yeah, I have that one too.
The first one has really nice end pages. The first UK one has like these really pretty blue end pages, but not in the second and third one. It's just plain.
I like the US cover too.
I love this cover because when you look really closely, you can see like it's so intricate. It's like
that is super pretty. Yeah.
Wow.
Abby and I always have an argument about which covers are better, but I think
the US covers are better.
Series are better.
Yeah, I like all of these when they're all. You can see them all together. I think.
I like all the individual covers. Like I love when you look at it from afar, you're like, gold and green. When you look at it really close and realize like how intricate it all is.
I think when I first bought the series, I bought the paper, like the US cover in paperback, and then I didn't like Kingdom of Copper's cover, so I bought the whole trilogy in the UK hardcovers back when they still existed. So,
yeah, they are hard to come by now.
Yeah, because my mom got me she got us the hardcover for the second and third one, but she missed out on the first one, so she got the paperback for it. And she's still to this day trying to find the hardback. I'm like, Mom, just give up. It's too
It's so
expensive.
cute.
Someone will sell it though. I don't blame
Yeah.
her. Someone will sell it and she'll find it. If I find it, I'll send you the link.
No, she found it, but it's like $1,000. So
I know, and that's what I'm saying. If I find like someone
Cheap.
selling it for her, I'll send you the link so she can buy it.
I'm also on the hunt for the I think it's the Illumicrate editions. I'm not sure. But the ones with the fancy straight ends.
They come up on like
That's
here,
the-
but they're about 500 for the set.
Oh wow.
So beautiful.
The highly sought after first.
Yeah.
The first book.
Any
If I
chance
ever-
for it?
If I ever see it in a charity shop, I'll pick up a copy. Because I do occasionally see, I have seen them. Don't know why I've never bought them. Like hardbacks of books that I know are going to be hard to get. Like the original UK hardback of the Night Circus I've seen, and like Uprooted I've seen.
Oh
before.
wow.
Seriously? Wow.
But the thing is, I don't buy them because I've already got them.
Is like $6.50
Jesus.
for this.
Oh, for the special
Yeah.
edition.
Great,
Can I
yeah.
tell you guys that I saw someone sell the Subterranean Press editions of all the Malazan books for $13,000. $13,000. I was like, who in their right mind? is gonna
No, thank you.
There's also a really cute Litjoy Daevabad teacup. Look at this. Now I'm in like the thing.
cute.
Teacup though.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cute.
That is super cute.
Wow.
I'm very sorry, but I'm not selling my hardbacks of this
Yeah,
series.
I wouldn't
You
even let you do
shouldn't.
it.
You shouldn't.
No,
Unless one day
they're
you're like
they're staying with
losing
me.
a house.
If you do, I would put you in a psych ward because that's not you.
No. These stay.
Yeah.
They're protected. They're protected on the top shelf.
The original hardcover of Stranger Dreamer, I would still love to own that, but I'm not willing to pay the price.
Actually,
I'm okay with
You
that.
do?
I have the original cover of Strange the Dreamer and then the Muse of Nightmares with the red sprayed edges. I don't know how I got those. Yeah,
Heavy.
that's exactly.
Oh, you
I
even
don't have
know.
the blue sprayed edges, but I have the red sprayed edges.
I have Muse, but without the sprayed edges.
But look what happened to it. Okay, lovely blue. Lovely blue. Oh, look, the sun got to it.
Oh,
Oh no!
oh no.
At least
But
it's
no one
the
has to
bottom
see
one.
it.
Ali, if you ever sell your Stranger Dreamer copy, think of me.
It's
No,
actually
no,
I
they're
liked
protected.
that series. It was just very whimsical.
It's so whimsical.
And it was the first one was very young. The
Yeah.
second one was, I think, my favorite out of the two.
Oh yeah, me too.
Same.
Me too. For sure.
I'm
Which is
fine with
weird because a lot of people were saying, I don't
Oh,
like Muse and
I
Nightmares as
forgot.
much.
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
I remember
That
that.
is
Oh, and
Yeah,
so
Signs.
cool.
yeah, all the
Dang.
first editions had one.
Boo.
I'm fine with my mismatched unique paperbacks. One is the tiny paperback and one's the long paperback. Unique.
I have the light blue paperback, and that was actually like a really nice floppy copy. And I was like, well, I don't know why I got it, but I did.
I have it as well, still somewhere, but I took it
I
off my
don't
shelf.
wear those to show off.
Yeah.
I have an
I also have a
oversized
mismatched
paperback.
paperback. I have a mismatched paperback of that as well. I'm just a mismatched.
what?
Mismatched paperbacks for Foundry side as well.
Oh,
First one is a small paperback, and the second one is a big paperback.
I managed to
I
get
have-
both of them in the large UK paperback.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the
Because
first
I
one,
found it.
think
I found it at a charity shop for like £1. The first one.
It's
Wow.
I
nice.
have like really good used
Yeah.
stores near where
I
you
want to
live.
go to London. Want to take me to those charity shops?
I mean, it's pure chance, isn't it? If you find
Yeah.
these.
I have the ones I have mismatched is the Nevernight series. I have the US paperbacks, so the small ones for the first two, and then I have the original hardcover UK hardcover for the last one, but also the Australian paperback, which is a big one, big floppy one, because one of my friends went and saw him and he signed it to me and she sent it to me from Australia. That was really
That's
nice.
so nice.
Yeah. I felt bad for her for paying the shipping. She's like, it's your birthday gift, so it's fine. I was like, okay, that's really sweet.
So
One of my friends, she booked her Jayla. She wanted the Hunger Games Australian edition. They're like, I think they have like sprayed edges, but they're metallic edges. and you can only get them here. And she wanted it, so I found it for her. So she paid for it on eBay to send it to my house. I still have it. I haven't sent it to her yet. I need to go to the post office. But that's another instance where someone asked me to send something to them for a certain edition.
Luckily for the UK, I can always get them from Waterstones. It's just expensive.
You can get them from Blackwell's too.
Yeah.
Well, Waterstones has the ones I order from Waterstones is because they have the exclusive editions.
Yeah.
If I order something that's now just a UK cover, I'll order it from your link, Abby. I promise.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna do.
thank you. But yeah, I mean, I bought they announced the Sarah J. Maas Crescent City 2 on Waterstones yesterday. So I made sure I got the signed exclusive edition.
So did
I went to look at it, but the signed was gone and they only had the Waterstones exclusive. And I thank the Lord I woke up at 6 a.m. accidentally to pre-order that.
Supposedly it was only it was sold out within an hour, and they didn't even announce it.
No, they didn't. I saw it.
I just saw it on Discord, and so I got it straight away when someone announced it, and I was like, oh yeah.
I saw it on
It was done in an
Instagram.
hour. I'm glad I jumped at it when it came.
I always miss
So did
out
I.
because I'm sleeping.
How dare you sleep?
How dare you? I think my body realized that this morning. It's like, get up.
Do it. See, I didn't know what was going on because I just saw you freaking out that you had pre-ordered the book, and I was like, but why is she freaking out about it? Now I understand.
It was the signed exclusive.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, so
can't
I
wait for
saw it and
those.
I posted it on mine because there was I forget, there's a specific Instagram page that I follow that will post, they do podcasts and other things about Sarah J. Maas's books, but they'll post whenever there's an exclusive edition of the book. So I follow them, and that's how I found out because they posted it, and then I put it on mine so people could know.
Yeah, it's all gone now.
I'm glad
I wish I was more because I've been reading Sarah J. Maas for years. I've been since the second Throne of Glass book came out, and I wish that I was more on it when those books came out because I've just got normal editions. And I remember seeing loads of signed editions in bookstores back then, whereas now they're so hard to come by.
Yeah.
And I wish I had been more on it with getting the signed editions back when the books were first coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I could have got loads.
This would be my first exclusive Sarah J. Maas edition. I don't have one because I always miss out. I miss out on the signed ones, but not next year. I will get one. Mark my words.
I have signed Tower of Dawn, and that's it.
I don't have any.
I don't have any signed ones, but I have I ended up getting one of the exclusive editions for Akasif, but it was very expensive. But I was I just love that book and I want that edition, so I bought it from someone.
Yeah, that
I
makes
only
sense.
have the anniversary editions of Throne of Glass and Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah, I have those two. Yeah, I have both of them. I do like those nerdy ink covers they have for them, but they're also out of stock.
I bought my mom that for her birthday this year.
Oh, that's so
She
nice.
she bought herself the hardcovers for it, so I got her the nerdy ink covers for it.
I think I own the hardcovers, but they don't have those dust jackets anymore for sale. So the ones that are now still available are the Juniper.
Yeah,
The ones that have the stag.
Yeah.
Those are
Those are
still.
nice. I don't like the color scheme of the nerdy ink ones.
You don't?
The art is beautiful though.
Yeah.
On it.
It's beautiful. I just don't like the color scheme. Is like a muted fall color
Yeah,
scheme.
it's like white, and then it's the base is white, and then all the colors are different.
And sage. Yeah, it's a very muted fall one.
Yeah.
It's less vibrant. I just like vibrant covers.
That's fair.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
And my mission now is to get myself the Throne of Glass hardcovers because I only have the paperbacks.
I have the paperbacks. I have the first book in hardback alongside my paperbacks, and I have Tower of Dawn in hardback as well.
I only
There
have
is a
all
reason for it. It's because when I paid for the signed tour edition of Tower of Dawn, but she wasn't coming to the UK to do her tour till 2-3 months after the release of Tower of Dawn. And obviously I had to get the book before then, and I had to read it as soon as it came out. So I got a second edition to read when it was released, and then I got my signed edition.
That was always my biggest question, because whenever you would do your videos, there was 2 copies of Tower of Dawn, and I was like, Tower of Dawn was okay, but like I didn't understand why. I was like, she must really love Kale and like Queen's story like so much. I'm like, okay.
No, I just had to have the book when it was released. I couldn't wait for 3 months till she came for her tour.
I actually really love Tower of Dawn.
I need to read it. It's the one I'm on now.
My opinion.
You know, it wasn't bad. It was because like with the ending of what was it, like was it Empire of Storms? That was the ending before Tower of Dawn. And then you go to Tower of Dawn and it's nothing. Like you just don't get any of that. You get Kale's story and I'm like,
I don't care.
I liked it a lot more than I expected it to.
I'm nervous. I finished Empire of Storms, so that was the last book that I reread. I've never read Tower of Dawn or Kingdom of Ash, and so now I'm like, but I don't want to read about Kale. I want to know what happens in the story.
I think I've read Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash once because I waited for all three of them to come out before I read them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to wait because I knew how Sarah J. Maas's ending were. So I was like, I'll just wait. So I only read all three of them once, but I really want to reread it again because I really like Tower of Dawn. It's so weird because I knew what Tower of Dawn was before going into it because I waited. So I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew how much of what it was ended up being. Does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. I think you all know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You know what I saw? I saw they also made, I think it's also Juniper, they made dust jackets for the hardcovers of the ACOTAR series since they switched in the middle. And then I'm like, okay, but those books aren't all out yet. So are you then going to release the next ones individually? It's like, well, this is kind of a joke, but it's if Winds of Winter ever comes out, there's all those special editions. So are all those editions going to publish Winds of Winter, or are we all just going to have until Dance with Dragons, you know? Yeah.
I like how
with the Song of Ice and Fire, they've like done different UK covers, and I've got like the original, well, maybe not the original, but like the normal UK paperbacks before they did the ones with like the scenery on them. I've got like the just different colors that change that, and so I'd want the sixth one to match all my other ones. I don't want the ones with the scenery on it, even though that's the newer cover.
Yeah.
Although I don't even know if I'm going to read the sixth, A Song of Ice and Fire. Because
I don't think anyone ever will, unfortunately.
Right. Even if it came out, like I read those books back in 2013. Like, I think it's been too long and I don't really care to reread.
I watched the show, so I don't think that I can ever watch the books.
I don't know if I would want to
read the books.
Read the books now.
I want to reread and finish because I haven't read the last two, so I want to. But
they diverge. They definitely diverge.
Well, I know what happens. I've watched a lot of spoiler stuff. I don't care. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Why did they have to screw up the show?
Yeah.
Well, that's
on that disappointing note.
Yay! David was great. We still love all the characters.
This series is actually complete.
Yes,
great.
And it's the landing.
Mm-hmm. Characters are great. It's like you said, it's completed.
The writing.
Just read it.
Just read it.
Just read it.
So good.
I just sometimes just sit and like think about it all the time now. I'm like, how did she write this?
Yeah.
It's so
like it's her debut, you know? It's like, how do you come up with this as your first book? Like, okay.
I guess you can say the same thing with Puppy War as well, because that is her debut as well, right? Yeah.
But I prefer this.
Yeah, I prefer it too.
Yeah.
I haven't finished the Puppy War series, but I know I prefer this than the Puppy War.
I haven't even started the Puppy War series, but I have a feeling that I prefer this.
Oh, you will.
I know that I'll like Puppy War, but I think it'll be just a different...
It's a different vibe, for sure.
Yeah, a different vibe. I was trying to find a better word than vibe, but there isn't one.
No.
It's a different vibe.
But you know, this discussion just proves that there needs to be more female authors in adult SFF, because I feel like we have so many men writing adult SFF, and it's just we need more.
Well, we have Tasha Suri, we have N.K. Jemisin, we have Octavia Butler.
Yeah.
We have Fonda Lee. We have
Robin Hobb.
a lot of the books on my shelf are female SF.
Yeah,
no,
I
I
tend to gravitate towards female authors than men, to be honest.
Because I have actually been reading more men this year, but like last year I was like, and the year before I've been like 70-80% female, and I predominantly read adults, whereas this year it's more like 60% female.
You know what I just realized? All the picks for this channel reads were women. First one was Ian Schwab, Erin Morgenstern. Now it's S.A. Chakraborty, and the next one is Nikki Palpretto. They're all women. That's right.
Even when I was younger and I read like mostly adult fantasy and I never read YA, because I don't think YA was a big thing with fantasy when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
They were all the authors that I liked were all female.
Yeah.
And they were all Tor. Tor was the only publisher really that did fantasy back then.
Yeah.
Female authors are killing it.
Yeah. Lady Taylor.
Oh,
Lady Taylor as well. Yeah.
I still want to read The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I haven't read that trilogy.
Me too.
The new covers are so pretty. I love the new covers much more. So
I just had a thought. If we finish Serpent and Dove, do you want to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone?
I'll reread the second one with you guys.
Because I haven't read it yet, so I'm very, very down.
I'll join you guys.
I'll propose the chat later. We'll see what they think. Okay.
Why are we doing more body reads, guys? We always complain how many body reads we have.
It's more fun. It's more fun to read it with people, and then you wake up to like 10 minutes of voice notes.
I know. That's been like, even with reading The Forgetting Moon, I was reading a chapter and I was like, oh, this chapter was so good. I gotta see if Abby and Sam said something about it. So I went back and there was like 4 messages about that one chapter. I was like, yes, the goodness continues.
That's the best part of this, to be honest. Just buddy reading with you guys.
Yeah.
What an experience.
The next one is gonna be, what is it called? Crown of Feathers.
Yeah.
That too.
But they enhance your life.
Yeah, they do. They really do. All of you watching, the next picked is actually Crown of Feathers trilogy by Nikki Palpretto. If you want to join us, the Discord link will be linked down below. The co-host for that is the lovely Lana from Lore and Lullabies. She's my co-host for that series. And we're going to have a great time. Hopefully our streak continues for the series because, you know, the Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue was not it for me. After that, I'm sorry, Abby. We can only be very similar so far. You know, it's okay. We're still good friends.
Wait, Ali, you also weren't a huge fan, right? So it's like split in two. Abby and I really like it, and then you two don't.
I gave it a 4 stars. It was beautiful, but it was...
Your face says it all.
I think Abby's going to murder me. Look at her face. She's ready. It's very murderous.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Will you bring me some UK books?
No, because the other day I told her that I read the Bromance Book Club, and she was like, it was okay. Like, this is payback for people we meet on vacation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And Abby was just like, yeah.
It was fine.
It was so good.
Yeah, you were like, you will have to read the Bromance Book Club. And I was like, it was okay.
I was like, yep, this is payback. I accept the payback. It's fine. Just tear falling down of my eyes.
Yeah. A single tear, you know, like
Smiling emoji that's in pain. Yeah.
I use that a lot now.
yeah. I use the one that's like full on sobbing. That's
I use both of that and the crying laugh emoji.
Yeah, that's my most used one.
All right, Adrienne is binging Faithful and the Fallen right now.
That is a good choice.
Yeah, I need to do that still.
Yeah.
That's future me's problem, not now.
Go read Well of Ascension.
Yeah, exactly. That's like my focus right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about this whole tangent, people. Sorry, but I hope you had a good time with us. Hopefully you did. Don't forget to check out these wonderful, wonderful ladies. I'm sure they'll make an appearance again because, you know, I love them. They're my good friends. And if you, again, want to join the next 3 months Buddy Read for Crown of Feathers, also check my Discord link down below. Come join us. Sorry. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.